Thank you, Paul. Thank you again and again and again. We always look forward to Paul Lancelotti's phone calls. Hey, can you sell a few boxes of, oh, Paul, send us some samples. We can check it out. Samples come. Yeah, we could do something with that. And we get this call once or twice a year. We love Paul Lancellotti. He's a sweetheart. The Lancellotti family runs an amazing operation up in Oregon, the Lancellotti family wines. They are, I call them pretty much iconic in the Oregon wine industry, especially when it comes to Chardonnay, right? If you want to talk Chardonnay in Oregon, and Chardonnay in Oregon's a big deal now, right? 20 years ago, it sucked. But guys, and there weren't too many guys, it was one or two guys, and one of them was Paul Lancellotti, working with Josh Bergstrom. They cracked the code for Chardonnay in Oregon. They found the right clones in the right spots, the right style of winemaking, and created a whole new genre of wine for Oregon, which Oregon is basking in the glory of today. Chardonnay from Oregon is a big deal now. 00, Walter Scott, Morgan Long, ad infinitum, the list goes on and on now of super cool, super chic, super hot Chardonnay producers. But the ground zero for that movement is right here. So what we got in front of us is the 2020 Lancellotti, easy for me to say, estate Chardonnay. So 100% estate vineyards, farmed very holistically. I don't know if they're biodynamic. Are they biodynamic? Yeah, I think they're biodynamic. Yeah. They're biodynamic. They do everything right. They've done everything right from the start. Again, Paul's good buddies with Josh Bergstrom, and they launched that whole Sigrid Chardonnay, which was one of the first 95 plus point Chardonnays in Oregon, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of that was due to the great vineyard work of Paul and then the great winemaking and foresight of Josh. Moving forward, Paul makes pretty damn fine wines himself. And with Chardonnay, I'm not going to say how hard is it, but how tough is it? Chardonnay kind of makes itself if you do the right thing. So there's a spot in New Oak here. He's not like reinventing the wheel. The key is for these beautiful biodynamic Chardonnay vineyards that Paul farms to really shine through and create the sense of place. Now, what is the sense of place? I'm so glad you asked. The vibe is Burgundian. We're on the same latitude as Burgundy. So think white Burgundy, but in Oregon, think white Burgundy, but in the way back machine. Think back to the 1990s, to the 1980s, right? When the wines had a wonderful, purposeful austerity to them. When the wines had this incredible vibrancy. There wasn't this fear of the wines being too rich, being too over the top. These wines were intrinsically vertical. Boom. Really straight up wines. And that's what Oregon gives you from a Chardonnay standpoint. It's cool up there. So these wines have more of a Frenchy vibe to them. But you got Americans making them. So it's all good. Again, a little bit of New Oak here, not a ton. The wines have incredible acidity, incredible focus. A little pinch of that French kind of classic reductive character. Very common to age these wines on their solids. And because the solids kind of provide nutrition. When I say solids, all little dead yeast cells and everything in the bottom of the barrels. These are not heavily manipulated wines. So what happens is you stir it, and these solids create reduction. It's almost like this burnt, this matchstick character, which is really typical, and we love it. And it's a completely engaging complexity in Chardonnay. The top Chardonnays in the world, from California, from Margaret River in Washington, the top Burgundy guys, Coach de Rie, Pierre-Yves Colin-Moret, they all make wine and vinify wine this way. Contact with those solids and giving this wine that nourishment and power and richness and intensity also allows the wine to maintain its acid profile and structure, at least from a tactile standpoint. I don't know what the technical numbers are, I'm not a winemaker, but from a tactile standpoint, you still feel it. Yay. Important point. So when a Chardonnay is made this way, in that classic old school Burgundian style, with this reduction, with incredible natural acidity, what do you do with it? Well, you do what we used to do with white Burgundy. You age it a little bit. It's supposed to. It's okay. It's good. You want this to happen. So when he approached us with the 2020, which, by the way, you want to talk about 2020 vintage, smoke taint, whatever, this is white wine. It was all picked before. There's no contact with the skins. So the whole smoke taint thing, whatever the hell you want to talk about, is moot with this wine. That does not apply here. Just for clarification, all right, just to let you know. But the point here is we have a wine now that's coming up on 4.5 years old. And again, like that Chardonnay from Bois d'Hiver from Thomas Picot we sold the other day, this wine is entering its pocket. And when these wines enter their pockets, then they fill out in the mid-palate. You get the richness of the Chardonnay fruit, but you still get the brightness and verticality of that classic cool climate Chardonnay from Oregon. And it makes for a complete package. This wine does what it is supposed to do, and it does it beautifully. Gorgeous, endearing, complex, long, rich, bright, focused. All those things apply here. Paul sells it for $70 at the winery. We're selling for $20. $19.98. Why did Paul say yes to this? He's crazy. Okay, yeah, $19.98 for this amazing $70 bottle of Chardonnay. What a gift. What a gift from Paul. Amazing, amazing opportunity. Limited, he doesn't make a ton of it, so jump in sooner as opposed to later and get yourself one of the top Chardonnay deals we have in the store, have had in the store for the last year. Amazing gear. Cheers.